contain all the values of that particular situation. Okay, for example, if you are inserting a new record, okay, that single record, whatever you are trying to insert, that details will be stored in those trigger context variables. For example, if you are updating a record, so before updating there will be some previous values, right? So all those previous values also will be stored and all the new values. So previously, for example, city Hyderabad is there. Now you are going to change the city from Hyderabad to Pune. So the entire record, all the old values will be stored in trigger.old, and entire record, all the new values will be stored in trigger.new. So what happens? All the values, all the values, whatever you are interested in, whenever you are performing on a specific record, it can be multiple records. For example, if I click on account, okay, and if I, okay, okay, now I think you should be able to see my screen. Okay, fine. So for example, if I click on account and if I click on new, so what I am doing, I am trying to give details and create one single account record. So if I have written a trigger on this object, whenever I create a single record also, trigger will fire. Okay, for example, if I am trying to insert 10 account records from Excel sheet, for example, CSV file. So in that case also trigger will fire. So trigger, if there is only one record, the trigger.new will contain one record. If I am trying to insert 10 records, trigger.new will contain 10 records. So trigger.new is nothing but a variable which can hold a list of accounts. Yes or no? So what are those context variables? We will go one by one. We will discuss them. Then we will go in detail and we will write a trigger today. Okay. Fine. Yesterday you noted down all those trigger context variables. Okay. So what are those trigger context variable? See, if there is a variable, definitely we have to specify the data type of the variable. Without specifying data type, can you have any variable? No, right? So all of these variables have a specific data type and they can store only values of that data type, not whatever you want. Let's see. Is executing is a variable. What type of value it can store? Returns true if the current context of the Apex code is a trigger, not a Visualforce page, a web service, or a execute anonymous window. Okay. If you are running the trigger, then if trigger is executing, then the answer you will get for is executing is true. If something else is executing and if trigger is not executing, then you will get false. Okay. Is executing will contain the value false if trigger is not executing. Simple. Okay. Is insert. See, I have written a trigger for before insert, for example. So whenever I am trying to insert a record, before that record gets inserted, I want to perform something. So whenever I actually do the DML operation, I may do insert, I may do update, I may do delete, whatever I may do, right? So how can I know? How can I understand that this scenario is an insert scenario, this scenario is an update scenario? So whenever the trigger fires, okay, there are variables like is insert, is update, is delete, is before, is after, all these things. So for example, if you are trying to insert a record, okay, if you are giving new details and clicking on save, then is insert will become true. If you open an existing record and if you made the changes and if you are clicking on save, that means you are modifying the existing record, then is update will become true, is insert will become false. Okay, and if you are trying to delete in existing record, then is delete will become true and these two will become false. So exactly in that situation, what you are doing, that details will be captured and those things will be stored in the trigger context variables. So now what you can do with these trigger context variables, using these trigger context variables, you can write multiple if conditions. If insert, do this. If update, do this. Like that, you can put multiple if conditions and based on that, you can write your logic. Okay. So for controlling the logic, these variables help us a lot. First, we need to understand, see, is executing what data type it is? Boolean data type. It can store true or false. Okay. Is insert? Boolean. Is update? Boolean. Is delete? Boolean. Is before? Is after? Is undelete? All these are Boolean data types which are saying you whether it is true or false. Okay. Next one, new is trigger.new. We use trigger.new. So this new, how this new will help us? It is a list of a subject data type. List of a subject means it can act as list of account, list of contact, list of positions, list of candidates, whatever object may be. Okay, it can be standard object or it can be custom object. List of a subject. Trigger.new is nothing but it is a list of a subject. See, returns a list of new versions of the subject records. So if I am trying to see, if I just give some details and if I click on save, then before these details gets saved into the system, okay, all the information first will store into the trigger.new. Whether it is one record or 100 records, whatever it may be. Okay, how many records you are trying to insert at a time, all those records, that entire list will be stored in the trigger.new. So if I want a single record from that, what I need to do, I will write a for loop on the trigger.new to get each and every record, and on that whatever operation I want to perform, I can perform. Next, trigger.new map. So this is a map. Okay, we have seen that map contains key value pair. Key can be of any data type, value can be of any data type. Okay, so here trigger.new map will contain new id. Okay, id comma a subject. Okay, id comma a subject. So how it will store? For example, if this is the account, if I am giving the details and if I am clicking on save, okay, in this case trigger.new will be there. Yes, it will be there. Trigger.new map will be there. No, because id is not there now. So already existing account if I open, for example, okay, existing account if I open and if I try to edit this, now what happens? The value, before I make any change, all these the values are there, right? All those will be saved in old. We have new, trigger.new, trigger.old, trigger.new map, trigger.old map. Okay, so here when you are updating, then the map scenario comes. When you are deleting, map scenario comes. But when you are inserting a new record, there is no id. When there is no id, what you can do with the map? So when you are trying to update, the old values will be stored in the trigger.old map. Okay, new values will be stored in the trigger.new map. Okay, along with id comma s subject. Okay, So ID is the key, a subject is the value. Okay. So at any point of time, if you give the specific ID, the complete record will come. Okay. So that is about trigger.new, new map, old map. Operation type returns an enum of type system.trigger operation corresponding to the current operation. So if you want to know the current operation, whether it is before insert, after insert, before update, after update, then you will use the operation type variable. So that will contain exactly what operation you are doing at that moment of time. Next, size, the total number of records in a trigger invocation, both old and new. Okay, this will give you the how many records are entering into the trigger. Okay, that will give you that information size. So these variables you need to know, because we will use these variables while writing any trigger code. Okay, so each variable you understood the meaning and the purpose. Okay, okay, so now let's do a simple example. Okay, fine. He is giving an example for after insert. First let's try the before insert, and then let's come back to this after insert. File, new, apex, trigger. Write the trigger name. Okay. First of all, you need to write the name of the trigger, then on which object you want to perform that trigger. Okay. Then click on submit. Trigger, trigger name, on, object name. Here, whatever scenario you want to do, before insert, after insert, before update, after update, all those things. Okay. So now here, list, okay, sorry, data type, variable, list. Hmm. Okay. So now here what I have, whenever this trigger fires, okay, I want to perform some operation in before insert. So before inserting only I want to do something. Okay, what I want to do, let's see. On the account, okay, before, see, I am first giving all the details and I am clicking on save. Before this record gets saved, I want to change the ownership to public. Okay, this is what my requirement is. So first of all, what I need to do, I need to go to the fields. Exactly what is the field label of the ownership, sorry, field API name of the ownership, I need to check. Okay, let me take this. Okay, there is a field called ownership, right? So A dot ownership will have the current value. Okay. So now what I want to do, I want to give some predefined value to A dot ownership. So let me open this. So public. Okay. So A dot ownership, I want to give this value. Okay. Okay. Now you tell me, do I need to insert or update? Do I need to perform anything? Okay. If I don't do anything, what will happen? Let's see. Okay. Then we will understand. So what I have written here, see, once trigger name on account object before insert scenario, this one. Okay. For account data type, A is what? Loop variable. Here the list is trigger.new. It contains, if I am trying to insert one record, that is what? That is present in the trigger.new. If I am trying to insert 10 records, those 10 records also will present in the trigger.new. In that, what I am trying to do, one by one record I am opening, A dot ownership, each record I am opening, and I am giving a specific value to it. Okay. That's what I'm doing. After that, I'm just closing. I'm not doing anything else here. Okay. So now let's go to account. Okay. Click on new. Okay. Ferrari is the account I am trying to give. I have not given any value for the ownership. And if I click on save, what happens? Let's see. Ownership change it to public. Okay. Before insert, actually before getting inserted only, this got updated. Okay. Now let me do one more thing. Click on account. Okay. I have created one account, and this time I am giving the value as private and I am saving. Now what will come? Tell me. Okay. Here logs. See here. Name also, if I want to change, see. A dot name. Okay. If I give name equal to, okay. Then what will happen? Whatever value you give, it will save with B&W only. Okay. Okay. So now what happens? Let's say I will create a new account with the name Honda. Okay. But when I click on save, what happens? It will be converted to BMW. Okay. Getting my point? See, what I am trying to do here, manually when you perform a DML operation, then perform this business logic. Okay. Before insert who is doing? You are doing. When you are trying to perform a DML operation, before that, I want to perform some other thing. That is the logic I am inserting here. Okay. You getting my point? Before I perform my DML operation, do this logic. Okay. If you want to insert account automatically, okay, when you want to do that, whenever I create a contact, then I want to insert account. Whenever I create an opportunity, then I want to insert account. Like that you can write. But when automatically, when you want to do, if you don't have any switch, for example, okay, you want to have a light or fan at your home, okay, you are thinking like automatically it should rotate, but there should be some switch, right? When you click on the switch, then only it should rotate. Then what happens automatically means 24 hours it will run. Even in automation, you need to perform a DML operation. Either when you create a record or update a record, then automation will work. Okay. Otherwise, there is no point. See, for example, if I have a system to create account, okay, automatically 24 hours it will create accounts going on infinite loop. Then what is the use of it? Is there any use? So when you perform a DML operation means when you insert a record or when you update a record, then based on that, I want to perform something else. Either it could be on the same record or it could be on the different record. That's a different issue. Even in automation, this is working in the same way. Even in the trigger, it is working in the same way. But the point here is, I am inserting a new record and I am asking the system to perform some operation before inserting the record. So that is the reason I could directly make the change here. I could directly make the change here. Why? Because I no need to query the record. I no need to worry about the ID, because this is the record. As soon as I click on save, the complete information is present in the trigger.new. From there, I am taking the value. I'm directly on that. I am changing the value. That's it. Insertion I no need to do. See the point here. Here I have not written insert. Why? Because I myself, even if the trigger is not there, I am going to do insert. Na? So here with the help of trigger, what I am doing? I am just making changes to the data before it gets inserted. You getting my point? Okay. So this is before insert scenario. Okay. Now let's think of after insert. Means after I insert my account, then I want a contact should be created. Because why I need after insert there? Can I use before insert? I cannot use before insert, because before insert when you can use, if it is on the same record, you don't have any need to work on ID, then before insert is fine. But here, only after inserting account, then I will get the account ID. That account ID I will give in my child contact. So on the child, you have to choose which parent you have to link to. So while creating the contact, you have to provide the account ID. So to provide the account ID, it should be present. So only after you insert the account, then only you can get. So that is why I am using the after insert keyword there. So after I insert the account, then if I want to perform something, so who have to make this decision? It is you who have to make the decision. So this is the most challenging part. So first of all, if you want to write a trigger, first question you need to answer yourself is, on which object I need to write a trigger. For example, okay, question will be something like this. Okay, write a trigger. Okay, stand up to update the value of This is the first scenario. Okay. Okay. Now, by reading this, but this question will be something like this. See the question, write a trigger. Okay. Write a trigger to update the value of the ownership field to account on account to public before every new account gets inserted. Here, if you just go by the word update, you think you need to do update, but here actually what I am doing. So you need to understand the complete meaning of the sentence. Blindly by going with the word, you cannot get the answer. See exactly what I have done before. That only I kept in a statement. Now what is your job? They will give you this statement and you have to write the code. That is what your job is. Okay. So this is the first scenario. Write down the scenario. Okay. Write down the scenario and then write down the code. See, code looks very simple, right? Easy. Whatever field you want to modify, you can use whichever field you want on the account. If I want to modify a field on contact, then what happens? Then things will change because if I want to modify a field on contact, which is linked to this account, if I say that, then first of all, I need to get that contact record. How you will get that contact record? You need to do SOQL query to get that particular contact. On that contact, you have to provide this account ID because that contact which is linked to this account, only that one I want to change, not all, right? So I need to figure it out. Okay, we will do those things, but for now, if I want to make a change on the same object, means I will do it before inserting. Okay, if I want to change on something else, then I will do my insert first, get the ID, use this ID somewhere else. Okay, save save చేస్తున్నా. Control S. I am using Control S to save. Okay, uh, always it is easy to do Control S. Otherwise you can go and you can click on save. Okay, I am doing Control S. First write down the question and then write down the code. Okay, it's better. I will copy the code also here. Okay. So now all of you understood, right? So now I'll ask you a question. Okay. Let me go to all the fields on the account. Huh. Wait. There is no formula field on this. If you try to update a formula field, you'll get error. Okay. So now let me try one more thing. Here on the ownership. Okay. Here, let me edit. Let me go back. Back to account fields. What I want to show is, let me go to any custom field pick list. Okay. So, so we have a pick list called active. Okay. Okay. And this is having values yes, no. Okay. Let me take the name. Okay. In my code. Okay. Instead of yes, no. Okay. If I write hi, I have to give yes or no, but I have given hi. Now what will happen? Let's see. Go to account, go Honda, click on save. Uh, one second. Maybe I have not saved it. Yeah. Active high is coming. Okay, why is this coming like this? Here, restrict pick list I have not used, I think. Huh. Restrict pick list values, define value set. This checkbox I have not checked. That's why it is allowing. So if I restrict the pick list, okay, then it should allow me only yes or no. Okay. This one delete. Okay. So now it will allow only yes or no. Okay. Now if I try to create a new account, okay, I am trying to update. I am trying to make some changes before the record gets inserted. And that value is not satisfying with the validation of the record. And if I try to do that, what will happen? It will throw an error. See? Okay, it's throwing error. Not only this, all the validation rules, everything will throw error. Okay, clear? So only if you give the correct value. So for example, here if I write yes, okay, click on save. See, it's still saving. Once it gets saved, now if I click on save, It will be saved without any issue and the value of active is yes. Okay, clear? Hmm? See, hi. First time clicking on, see, star is there, control yes, saving. Trigger will save whatever value you give because because it is expecting text. You are giving a text, but that pick list value there you are restricting. Whether you are restricting there or not, trigger will not know. So trigger will accept allow here, but because it's restricting na, so there you will get error. Trigger fired, that's why you got error. Something I have given. If I click on save, what happens? See, it will throw error. Why it is throwing error? Because trigger fired. Trigger fired and it started executing this. It started here. It executed this. When it came to this point, it actually updated the value to high. After the trigger is all these things are done, then it is going to do the insert. When it is trying to insert, there we are getting the error. If you want to see more details about this, see here in the log, we can see execution started, execution code. Oh, where is the latest one? DML 0 rows, error, name Ferrari, this one. Okay, that's why let's do one thing. Let's clear all the logs so that we will get clear picture exactly what happened. Okay, so now let me click on this. Okay, I have given Skoda. Just click on save. Okay, now what happens? See, these two we got. Okay, these two got, we got these two logs. Let me open this log. Name Skoda. Okay. Okay. See here, DML. It could not perform the insertion. So the DML, it said 0 rows. Okay. Trigger event before insert. Okay. Understood? Okay. Now let's go with the after trigger. Okay. How the after trigger will look? Okay. Now read this complete thing, okay, and tell me the meaning of it. That's it. Writing of code, that we will think later. First, try to read it, understand it, tell me whether you understood or not. Okay. After you understand, what is the next step? First, you need to decide on which object you need to write the code, on account or on contact. That's the first question. Here we are discussing only two objects. So either you should write it on contact or you should write it on account. Okay. Now you need to tell me on which object I need to write. That's the first question. After that, what to do, how to do, we can think of those things later. Hmm? Come on, read it and give me the answer. All the guys who are attending online, you need to ping in the chat window whether I need to write a trigger on account or on contact. Guys, come on, give answer. Only simple question I am asking. Tell me whether I need to write a trigger on account or on contact. Type account or contact. Only one word. That's it. Whether it is account or contact. On which object I need to write a trigger. By reading this, you need to tell that. Come on, quick. Right. So for this one, answer I will tell. Nobody answered. So I will tell the answer. First of all, we need to write code on which object. We need to write a trigger on account. Okay. 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 So first of all, trigger name on account. Okay. After insert. So after account gets inserted, then what I want to do? Then I want to create a contact. Okay. So first of all, I will write a for loop. Okay. In that each account I can get through the trigger.new. Yes or no? Each account I can get through the trigger.new. Okay. Fine. So now here on the account, do I want to do anything? If I want to do anything, I will write it here. Okay. But on the account, as it is, whatever information is given, I want to use that. I don't want to make any change on the account. Okay. I want to create a contact. I want to create a contact with the first name as Naresh and last name as account name. So first of all, I need to get the account name, right? Yes or no? So now what I will do is here I will create a variable account name. I'm creating a variable and I am putting that value here. Okay. So wait. Okay. Instead of doing all those things directly here itself, I can do. Okay. Uh, here actually, uh, if I want to query the contact, but here, okay, let's do that in a different example. So here I'm not querying the contact. I will create a contact. So what I will do, contact con equal to new contact. Okay. Con dot first name equal to Naresh. Okay. Con dot last name equal to okay. So hmm, hmm, అకౌంట్ క్లాస్ నేమ్ ఉంటుందా? యాక్చువల్‌గా ఇది కూడా అవసరం లేదు. డైరెక్ట్‌గా ఇది ఇచ్చేస్తే అయిపోతదా? Okay, right. So now let me go create a new Bugatti. Click on save. ఓకే. ఆహా! ఇది ఉంది కదా! ఇంకా అది తీసేయాలి. ఎందుకు? మరి అన్ని పనిచేస్తాయి. అన్ని ప ఆ! అది కూడా అవుతది. అది కూడా అవుతది. దాని కిందన ఒకటి అని ఆపర్చునిటీ ఇన్సర్ట్ అయింది. కానీ కాంటాక్ట్ ఇన్సర్ట్ కాలేదు. ఎందుకు ఇన్సర్ట్ కాలేదు? ఓకే. టైం అయిపోయింది. మనం ఓ పని చేద్దాం. రేపు చూద్దాం దీని సంగతి. We'll see tomorrow what is the issue, why it is not working. Already it's 9:04. Okay. You try this code. If you take a photograph, try this code. There is some mistake here, that's why it's not working. So what's that mistake? Okay, that mistake I know, but it will take some time to tell, that's why I'm not telling it now. Okay, take a photograph. Here, before writing this insert, I need to query and then I will need to insert, then it will work. Okay, here I need to query and then I need to insert. సరే, రేపు చూద్దాం. ప్రశాంతంగా చూద్దాం. We'll deal it peacefully tomorrow. Okay, fine then. Thank you guys. We'll meet tomorrow.